Most companies spend a great deal of time keeping a close eye on the competition. What are our rivals up to, and how are we doing relative to those competitors? They benchmark. And isn't benchmarking a good thing? Well, I would argue it can be a blessing, but also a curse. Why? All too often, our efforts to benchmark lead us to imitate the competition rather than innovate. We end up with herd behavior in industry after industry because rivals are studying their competitors closely and then emulating them. Copycat behavior, time and time again. So, should we stop studying the competition? Well, of course not. We still need to benchmark, but we need to think about benchmarking a little differently so that we're learning from the competition and not just copying them. This is particularly important because I've often found that companies don't just copy, they copy poorly, leading to really suboptimal results. And we know, of course, if many players in an industry are copying one another, then strategy convergence takes place, and as it does, profits fall for the industry as a whole. So 3 ideas I want to share with you about how to benchmark more effectively. First, as you study your rivals, ask yourself the question, what do they do that we don't want to do? Don't just focus on best practices. Focus on the things that they're doing that you'd like to shed. Because after all, a great strategy is about being distinctive. It's about making trade-offs. It's about what you don't do, not just what you do. One of my favorite firms is Trader Joe's. Think about how they've stood out in the grocery business. They don't have sales. They don't have many branded goods. They don't do television advertising. They have no loyalty card. They have no self-checkout. They've rejected a number of the facets of their competitors' business models and built a really unique company that's done quite well. So ask yourself, what do we not want to do that our competitors are doing? And you'll build a distinctive strategy as you benchmark. Secondly, don't just study your direct competitors. Ask yourself, what are the substitutes for my product or service? Let's say you're in the gym business. You run fitness centers. Are you only studying Gold's Gym and LA Fitness? Or are you asking yourself, what do people do when they don't come to the gym? Do they run outside? Do they work out in a home gym? Are they on a diet plan? Right? What are they doing? What are the substitutes, the alternative products or services that fulfill a similar human need as my fitness center? And when you do that, look broadly at the substitutes. You know, at Planet Fitness, they say our substitutes are not just the other competitors we see in the marketplace or not just things like running outside. It's Chili's and Uno's in the movie theater, says their CEO. It's the things people are doing besides working out, because working out doesn't seem very attractive to them. How do we convince those people to shed those bad habits and try to exercise more? So looking broadly at the substitutes for your product or service can be helpful when you're studying the competition. And finally, don't just look in your own industry, but look outside your industry for valuable learning opportunities, what I call analogous experiences. Who are those people? Who are those firms that are exceptional at something I'd like to do better? They don't have to be in my industry, and what can I learn from them? So if I want to learn about great customer service, let's go see the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons, and let's see how they delight their customer. Going outside your own industry pretty much prevents you from copying because, after all, they're doing something so different that you can't just copycat them. You'll have to learn from them and adapt that learning to your own company. So, do we have to benchmark? Absolutely. Should we do it a little differently to spark creativity and innovation? Absolutely. After all, herd behavior never led to high profits for industry participants. It only leads to a decline in profits and a homogeneous result as firms look more and more alike over time.